In this video today, where I'm just going to be explaining how the simple thing about growing some onions. This year, I decided to, you know what, let me just give you an insight of how I do my onions every single year. Sometimes I do change the way I grow my onions or where I grow my onions, but I'm just going to grab my little bit of the tools that I use, and explain to you what I use them for and how I do my onions, and explain there's other ways. My favorite tool to use whenever I'm growing my onions is my beautiful and amazing dibber. They come in many different sizes that you can purchase, and they are so handy because this is a plastic handle one and a beautiful V-shaped bird beak size metal one, which is perfect for me because obviously sometimes in the UK we have this amazing hardcore soil. It's very clayey, and obviously due to the fact that I've added a lot of compost and added some maintenance to my soil or amendments, it makes it more easier for me to plant my onions every year, because the soil adaptation, because I've been adding a lot of mulch and other things to the soil, is becoming a little bit more easier with time. So in this sowing season, I'm just going to be growing my onions from sets, and these are the beautiful sets that I have here. I hope you guys can see that. They tend to be more smaller sometimes. You do have different shapes, but don't be discouraged by them. They can still grow and produce some amazing food, and that is the purposes. Onions, to me, onions are one of the most versatile and amazing things to add to your dishes. A lot of us cook it with our meats and our salads, and we even have them on their own. Some of us coat it and dip it in batter and fry it in deep fry, and it's amazing because it just brings so much beautiful aroma, and it just has a beautiful taste. Fun fact, onions do carry a massive amount of flavor, and it does have some cancer properties in it. Don't believe my word of it. You can do your own research, and then you can come back to me at Bramble Green Hands and tell me if I was wrong or right. Conversation is important, so let's show you an onion and what I do first before I actually start to plant. First thing I literally would do in this scenario is basically make sure the land is quite clean of sort of like any bushes or any weeds that you do not want to have here. And that's what I'm going to do quickly, because this is my no-dig bed. It's pretty much quite easy just to use my hands that I'm doing now and remove those pesky weeds that keep coming up every single year, which I'm trying to have a minimal of. But the beautiful thing about no-dig, it literally becomes so easy to weed, and eventually, by the grace of God and amending the soil, it will become less and less and less. So let me just grab and get rid of these here quickly, and then just show you what I do every year or most years when I am sowing or planting my onions. One of the things that I actually quite love to use when I'm actually trying to do this is add a completely broken down compost, which is a manure compost, to add some beautiful, amazing nourishment to replenish what I used last year. I'm just going to sprinkle that about, and I'm going to add after this some of my beautiful compost. Obviously, I bought them in a shop. I didn't actually produce mine. Is still over there, still trying to do its biz. So I'm not going to trouble it this year, but I add more value to it. So I'm just going to use which is a organically based horse manure, which is completely broken down. So it's perfect to use straight away, right out the bag, no hesitation, no problem. And this is the compost that I'm using. Let me show you guys that. This is a Miracle-Gro one, and it does have a very great thing about it. Its NPK is all 11s, so that is going to give it root stability, growth, and fruiting ability. So it's perfect right round, and it does not need to be feeded. It's got a 3-month feed, and I'm looking forward to see all of this come together. So I'm just going to cover that and then show you guys how and when to know the direction that you're planting in. Onions come in many different colors. There is red type, yellow type, and obviously they do have the beautiful white and other varieties as well. They've got bunching onions and onions that you can use throughout the season. But for this one, I'm just going to be growing this year from seed sets, the beautiful yellows or golden and some purples. So that is what I'm going to be planting this year, and it's going to be an amazing season. So before I go anything further, so an onion has a beautiful bottom like this, and an amazing top like that. So when you're planting, you think of it as a pyramid. The pointed top goes towards the sky to get the sunlight, and the beautiful bottom with a belly goes in the ground, and that's where you have your rooting system, and then it will produce a bulb later on if you're successful, because it doesn't matter what you do. Sometimes you plant the seeds and God does his work. Doesn't matter what it is, still with a plant. So I have my dibber. My dibber purpose is to create a hole. Let me get you guys closer to this so you can see. Is to create a hole with not much effort. And there, straight away, I've got my onion and I just pop them in. Just like that. Not too far down, because onions kind of do grow on the top of the soil. It's not a rooted vegetable that you need to be planted too deep. It's one that grows pretty much on the top, and it loves a beautiful sunny area. So find one of your sunniest places in your garden, and there you can grow some amazing onions, perfect for every season. And onions doesn't just grow in summer. You can have varieties that grow very well in winter. So keep an eye on those ones, because they can have your garden looking amazing even though times are cold. So let me just show you as a recap. So remember, when you plant your onions, make sure it's like a pyramid. So the pointy part of the pyramid is heading towards the sunlight, facing towards God, and the bottom is facing towards the earth. So there you can get your onions to start to grow. Just remember that, and you can never go wrong. And that is it, guys. The thing about when you're planting your onions is to make sure you have about 4 inches apart from each other. Then you can actually just have a few other things planted between them. I always kind of like space them out, because I'm going to use my onions as a deterrent to other vegetables that I have growing with me. So I'm using it like to keep off the pests. Is it very good? So finding out what great vegetables are a very good companion, and onions are just beautiful. Just a quick thing. But before I go, I just want to show you guys what I've planted already, because I have popped some of my onions in already and they're starting to grow beautifully. Let me show you that already. If you guys look really closely, you will see some amazing onions starting to break through. And this is my dig bed. What I've done with this dig bed, I've added some little bit of compost, some coffee beans you will notice around that is high in nitrate. That will give this plant beautiful mixture, and you can get it going nicely. So I've got onions all the way along here. Onions are doing really well, and they're actually coming right through right now because it's starting to get grown. Look at the beautiful stems. They're starting to find life. And there you're going to have some onions. Hopefully, if you keep your fingers crossed, maybe your legs as well, and pray, everything will be fine. And that is it. But before I go, just remember, you can always add some extra manure when it starts to grow, because sometimes the soil can deplete itself. So later on, after 3 months, because onions do take a time, it could be from 30 to about 60 or 70 days, you can be able to see your onions starting to bulb. It depends, because each onion has a different time growth. Some onions are longer, some are shorter. So choose which onion is perfect for you, for your climate, and see how you go. Thank you very much for watching. This is your boy, Mr. Green Hands, and please hit that subscribe button if you love what I'm doing. Hit that comment, or actually write that comment so I can respond back to you. And please hit that like, because that helps me to grow to a bigger audience, so I can share the love and the positivity that I have to offer to everybody. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to love yourself, and please look after the planet, because we just have to.